Today's Being You, we reflect on the first principle. The first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Reverence and respect for human nature is at the core of Unitarian Universalist faith. We believe that all the dimensions of our being carry the potential to do good. We celebrate the gifts of being human, our intelligence and capacity for observation and reason, our senses and ability to appreciate beauty, our creativity, our feelings and emotions. We cherish our bodies as well as our souls. We can use our gifts to offer love, to work for justice, to heal injury, to create pleasure for ourselves and others. Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy, the great 20th century Rabbi Abraham Heschel wrote. Unitarian Universalists affirm the inherent worth and dignity of each person as a given of faith, an unshakable conviction calling us to self-respect and respect for others. The words of Dr. Rebecca Ann Parker, minister, theologian, and author. Today's opening words are number 596, which are responsorial. Boundless goodwill, Ameta Sutta. Let us cultivate boundless goodwill.
Let none deceive another or despise any beings in any state.
Let none in anger or ill will wish another harm.
Even as a mother watches over her child, so with boundless mind should one cherish all living things.
Radiating friendliness over the whole world.
Above, below, and all around, without limit.
Please rise as you are willing and able to join us for today's affirmation.
Ours be the poems of all tongues, all things of loveliness and worth, all arts, all ages, and all songs, one life, one beauty on the earth.
And our opening hymn, number 27, I Am That Great and Fiery Force.
I am that great and fiery force, sparkling in everything that lives, in shining of the river's course, in greening grass that glory gives. I shine in glitter on the seas, in burning sun, in moon and stars, in unseen wind, in verdant trees. I breathe within both near and far, and where I breathe there is no death, and meadows glow with beauty's rife. I am in all the Spirit's breath, the thundered word, for I am life.
Today's transitional words are number 598, without hate, which are again responsorial. May every creature abound in well-being and peace.
May every living being, weak or strong, the long and the small, the short and the medium-sized, the mean and the great.
May every living being, seen or unseen, those dwelling far off, those living nearby, those already born, those awaiting to be born.
May all attain inward peace.
Let no one deceive another. Let no one despise another in any situation.
Let no one from antipathy or hatred wish evil to anyone at all.
Just as a mother with her own life protects her only child from hurt, so within yourself foster a limitless concern for every living creature.
Display a heart of boundless love for all the world in all its height and depth and broad extent.
Love unrestrained, without hate or enmity.
Then, as you stand or walk, sit or lie, until overcome by drowsiness, devote your mind entirely to this. It is known as living the life divine.
Today's speaker, Kristeller, will present Thich Nhat Hanh, a gentle Buddhist leader in love and compassion. Jean has been a student and scholar of Buddhism and Buddhist psychology her entire career, and a devotee of that which Thich Nhat Hanh for much of that.
So, I was actually surprised to see in the paper last week the obituary story for Thich Nhat Hanh. This is how I found out that he had passed, and I will mention Thich is means leader, means within the Buddhist church. So his name, which he actually is not his born name, is Nhat Hanh, but I will continue to refer to him as Thich Nhat Hanh. So this is both a presentation on who he was. It's also a memoriam service for him. He has probably been one of the more influential people for myself, my own meditation practice. I was looking through my bookshelves and realized that I still had a copy of Secrets of the Lotus. And part of, in just skimming through this, it speaks to a merging of the Zen traditions and the Theravada or Vipassana traditions. And that is also what Thich Nhat Hanh represents, as I will be speaking to you further. So Thich Nhat Hanh was from a small village. He was ordained at a somewhat young age, but that is not that unusual within Buddhist traditions. However, was more of a scholar than most young monks would be. He then studied at the University of Saigon. He became he applied for and received a Fulbright scholarship, came to the U.S. Later in the late mid-60s, he was back in the U.S. again, connected with Martin Luther King Jr., and who, because he was so impressed, Martin Luther King was, with his engagement with peace. At this point, he actually, Thich Nhat Hanh was very much speaking up against the Vietnam War. He spoke to Martin Luther King to please speak, encouraged him to also speak to the atrocities in Vietnam. He was then later, because of his actions in Vietnam, speaking for peace, he was exiled and went to Europe. It was a number of years later when he founded Plum Village Monastery, which still exists. He lived for a while at a place called the Green Mountain Monastery in eastern northern Vermont. He wrote about 100 books, many of which have been translated into English. You can find them if you go online. He then returned to Vietnam to visit for the first time in 2005. And then he had a major stroke, which made him unable to speak, and he went back to Vietnam and back to the Tu Hie Temple, where he continued to be for the remainder of his life for the last 3 years. He is considered probably not by everybody, but by many, to be the father of mindfulness meditation in the outside of Asia. He was known for, again, more than I had realized, his free-thinking perspective, scholarly work. As I mentioned, he came to the U.S. as a Fulbright scholar in 1960. Martin Luther King nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1967, and then did what you are never supposed to do if you nominate someone for something like that, is publicly announce it. And that made him ineligible, sadly. But actually, then it said that no Nobel Peace Prize was awarded that year. He continued to be politically active in Vietnam and in promoting peace throughout his life. And later, when he was able to go back to Vietnam, both in combination with Buddhism as practiced in Vietnam and in Thailand, helped establish the International United Buddhist Church, which still exists. So coming back to this, the paths of Buddhism. Some of you may be aware of these. The one that goes back the longest is actually Vipassana Buddhism, the oldest, considered the oldest to the original teaching of the Buddha, moved from India into Southeast Asia and Sri Lanka. It is what is dominant in Burma and Thailand. Mahayana Buddhism actually developed a little bit later and moved north into China, where it really took hold. And then went from China into Japan, going east into Korea, and then Japan, and then south into Vietnam. And Vietnam Buddhism is actually considered Vipassana Buddhism, but because you also have the influence coming from the west, from India through Burma and Thailand into Vietnam, there is a merging there, a melding there of the Mahayana Buddhism and the Theravada Buddhism. And then Vajrayana Buddhism, I think virtually all of you are aware who the Dalai Lama is. The Dalai Lama represents Tibetan Buddhism, which is yet a different mode. It is also came up from India sometime still later and melded with traditional Tibetan religious beliefs and practices. And the Dalai Lama, of course, is the one who has spread that message throughout the world. So mindfulness. I am going to be speaking now about mindfulness and in the context of what Thich Nhat Hanh developed and shared. A cognitive state marked by attentional stability disengages habitual reactions, allowing for inner wisdom to emerge. But this is part of what makes it universal. As coming from psychology, it represents an element of understanding human presence, human experience, that is coming from a different place in our minds. But it is this engaging this sense of inner peace, a sense of spiritual engagement. In the moment, it may be simply moving from, as I like to say, from reaction to response, from engaging our wise mind, from engaging our loving mind, our caring mind, our compassionate mind. And that happens and flows out of that practice. One of Thich Nhat Hanh's books, Taming the Anger Within. To meditate means to be invited on a journey of looking deeply in order to touch our true nature and to recognize that nothing is lost. Thich Nhat Hanh didn't say that it's wrong to have anger. It's just what you do with it. These are three of his more widely read books, The Miracle of Mindfulness and Peace is Every Step. Wonderful material in it, but it's also about the importance he puts on bringing this quality of mindfulness into everything you do, into walking meditation. And then, how to eat and savor mindful eating, mindful life. So again, these tie in to bringing mindfulness into everything we do and framing whatever it is you're involved with more widely, more broadly. In this food, I see clearly the presence of the entire universe supporting my existence. And in fact, I've built into one of the additions I've made into some of my work with mindful eating, guided practice, is to stop for a moment, think, what do I know about chocolate? Where were the ingredients grown? Who put them together? How did they get to me? How did I buy this in the store? And extending a sense of thanks and appreciation to all of that, and how they were grown, to the wind, to the water, to the earth. This is from Savor. Breathing in, again, I thank the universe for the wonderful foods available for this meal. Breathing out, I prepare this meal with love and joy. My bowl is empty, my hunger is satisfied. I vow to live for the benefit of all beings. We are going to do a brief practice, loving kindness practice, something to reflect on as I ring this bell. This is the foundation of loving kindness meditation. Wishing to somebody, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live in peace, may your heart be filled with loving kindness. So now, coming back into a place that's quiet, putting any materials you have aside, putting your both feet flat on the floor, and with the sound of the gong, reflecting back on the meaning of that sound, bringing us into that place of quiet. Gently closing your eyes, bringing your awareness to the breath, and then with the sound of the gong, letting it deepen that awareness. And then I will be guiding you further. Resting on the feeling of the breath for another moment or two. And then repeating silently to yourself as I share this with you. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live in peace. May my heart be filled with loving kindness. And now picturing to yourself someone in your life who you care about a lot. And again, repeating to yourself silently, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace. May your heart be filled with loving kindness. And another time, picture yourself someone with whom you have some concerns or problems perhaps, some issues. Doesn't have to be something terrible, but there. And now again, expressing to them, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live in peace. May your heart be filled with loving kindness. And now, to close with this meditative practice, picture all of the people you know and you don't know around you, who are here, who are elsewhere, perhaps that you work with. May you all be safe. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all live in peace. May all of your hearts be filled with loving kindness. Coming back to your breath. And as you're ready with the sound of the gong, coming back into the space of the room. This is from one of his books, No Death, No Fear. So this is in honor, closing again as a memoriam service. This body is not me. I am not caught in this body. I am life without boundaries. I have never been born, and I have never died. Over there, the wide ocean and the sky with many galaxies all manifests from the basis of consciousness. Since beginningless time, I have always been free. Birth and death are only a door through which we go in and out. Birth and death are only a game of hide and seek. So smile to me and take my hand and wave goodbye. Tomorrow we shall meet again, or even before. We shall always be meeting again at the true source, always meeting again on the myriad paths of life. So, our closing hymn, 170.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking are singing, singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
The closing words are number 505. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become holy ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being, common to us all and to all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion towards ourselves and towards all living beings. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. Amen.
May the blessings of love rest upon you. May peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore.
Go in peace. Know that you are loved and that your life is sacred.